Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a book review on the book Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race by Reni Eddo-Lodge. So I'll do a brief overview and then I'll go through chapter by chapter, giving a brief explanation of what is discussed in each chapter and how it has informed me. So as an overview, this book is very informative, it's very insightful, and it is vital if you wish to educate yourself, which I urge all of you to do. So chapter 1 is titled History, and this chapter talks about some history of discrimination that the black community in the UK has faced. Shockingly, I hadn't heard of many of these stories, so for me, I was being educated on the history of discrimination that black people have encountered. Some of the topics discussed include the slave trade, civil rights acts, stop and search, the story of Cherry Groce, and many other devastating reports of discrimination against black people. Chapter 2 is titled The System. This chapter highlights the police brutality in the UK and how the police force is systemically racist and how for many years they ignored the blatant racism within the force. Reni also tells the story of the brutal murder of Stephen Lawrence and how his case hadn't been solved in a just way for far too many years. This chapter for me was the most informative, as it gave me an eye-opening experience of the UK's denial and dismissal of black lives. Chapter 3 is titled What is White Privilege? This chapter begins with a heart-wrenching anecdote from Reni's early childhood, and then continues to discuss what white privilege is and how it is overwhelmingly powerful. This chapter also highlights the dismissal white people have towards the conversation of race. I was strongly informed of how my white privilege affects me and how white privilege affects the black community. Chapter 4 is titled Fear of a Black Planet. The most interesting section in this chapter is the interview Reni had with National Party leader Nick Griffin. It was very shocking to read what this man has to say. It's very heartbreaking to think that someone who is a leader of a political party has those views, and that people want to vote for that party and those views. I think that it was great that Reni included this interview, because we are able to read what a racist thinks and says and see how absurd his mindset is. Chapter 5 is titled The Feminism Question. Here, Reni addresses intersectionality between race and gender. Feminists need to recognise black women do have it harder in life than white women. Black women are being discriminated against not only because they are a woman, but also because they are black. This chapter also has a personal touch as Reni discusses her loyalties to feminism. And it really informed me as a feminist that I need to be more aware of black women in the UK society and in society as a whole. Chapter 6 is titled Race and Class. Again, there is talk of intersectionality in this chapter because black people who are poor are discriminated against due to their class, but also because of their race. Reni discusses the difficulties, especially for black people, of moving up a class. These two chapters, the feminism question and race and class, emphasise the white privilege, and for me it really was eye-opening for me to realise how much white privilege I actually do have. Chapter 7 is called There's No Justice, There's Just Us. This chapter mentions the Paris attacks and how the impact that had on people reading about the Garissa University attack in Kenya, even though that attack occurred 7 months prior and got no attention originally. Reni then talks about the importance of doing something, like chipping away at workplace power relations or passing on knowledge to people. She emphasises that it doesn't matter what it is, just do something. That is the message I would like you to take away from this video. Please do something. Educate yourself. Speak against a racist friend. Have discussions with family. It is something we can all do. This chapter has a positive ending and is very motivating, as it informed me to continue to support Black Lives Matter and chip away at this problem. The last chapter is titled Aftermath. This chapter discusses the 2016 referendum where the UK voted to leave the European Union, and how the number one reason for this was people's fear of immigration. Also, Reni discusses the aftermath of the publication of this book, as this chapter was written after. At the end of the book there is the extensive index, notes and bibliography section. Reni uses facts, for sure, which is essential for extra reading. After reading this book, I am inspired and motivated to be part of the movement and support Black lives forever. I am now passing on this book to my parents so they can also feel inspired and motivated. I strongly urge you to buy this book. It is excellent writing and eye-opening to read. I will leave a link down below in the description box to buy it from Waterstones, so please do check it out. I will also leave a link to one of my previous videos where I filmed based on racism in the UK, Black Lives Matter and how to be anti-racist. Please watch it if you haven't already. Please continue to educate yourself, and thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.